Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible, make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we just...
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad, one half of PMP, and today we are here with another Mock Draft Monday. My apologies last week. We did not have one. I was recovering from the Germany trip, so I just couldn't get one. I was tired, so my apologies. All right, so we back though. And what's weird about this is I don't think I've been able to draft this late in any mock draft since I've been doing Mock Draft Monday. We are picking at number 8, and it feels good. I'm sorry for all those that enjoy poverty and enjoy us being so bad that you want the number 1 overall pick every year. That's not me. I want these W's. I want to pick later in the draft. Just because you pick late does not mean you can't find talent in the draft. There are teams that continuously build and they're picking in the 20s and they get better and better and better every year. Meanwhile, y'all want to pick number 1 overall. It just doesn't make sense. So for me, get the W's. Doesn't matter where we pick. You got to be able to select the right guy that fits what you're trying to do. And if you can do that, it doesn't matter where you pick. Now, with that said, before we get into it, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments. Let me know what's good. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers. We need everybody to take a second, hit that subscribe button, help us get there. 25K on the way. Let's make it happen. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing going here, man. We're going to be picking number 8 overall, like I said earlier. And in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and say that Bryce Young is the guy. He's been playing well. And again, I'm not saying that he's going to be the future guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just taking it week by week. And as he plays better, we're starting to get more confidence in him. So I'm rolling with Bryce Young potentially being the guy for this draft. And I'm not staking the claim that he is our franchise quarterback. I think even for me, I think he needs to prove it week in and week out. So I'm not quite there yet. But again, in this particular mock draft, we're going to roll with him as being the guy. So let's go ahead and get this thing started and let's see what we come up with. All right. So the Panthers are on the clock at 8, and this is interesting. So McMillan, obviously very good wide receiver, should be top 10, obviously taken in the draft. But in this particular instance, this is very interesting. Now, last time I took Mason Graham, and because I want to be different and I don't want to have the same mock drafts all the time, I'm going to do something a little different here. And I want to explain why I'm going to do it. In real life, though, if this were to occur, and this scenario were to occur, I'm taking Mason Graham. I think Mason Graham helps us in the trenches. Mason Graham, along with Derrick Brown, would be very problematic. But also, there's another thing that could be problematic, and that is taking Will Johnson here. Will Johnson is a very, very, very good cornerback. And I think that personally, if you put him next to J.C. Horn, an extended J.C. Horn, where you have that veteran J.C. Horn next to Will Johnson, a young elite talent, now you have bookend cornerbacks, and that is what makes Evero's system click. And so I'm going to take Will Johnson here, and I think that could be very problematic for the NFC South, particularly, and the entire league if we were to get Will Johnson. So I'm taking Will Johnson, even though I do think Mason Graham is the better pick there. But Will Johnson, very solid. All right, let's keep this thing moving here. Panthers in round 2. Let's see what we got. So we got Tyler Warren, who I really like. Edge rusher JT. I'm not going to butcher my man's last name. But this is intriguing. Now, we may have missed out on Mason Graham, but Derrick Harmon is a large individual, 6'5", 310 pounds. I think he would be very good in that, next to Derrick Brown. Just the same scenario that I spoke about with Mason Graham. I think Harmon is comparable. So I'm going to go Derrick Harmon there to fix the trenches. Trench work is crazy right now. We got to roll with fixing the trenches. Let's see what else we got here. Coming up at the top of the 3rd round here. First pick in the 3rd round. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can come up with. All right. So Nick Emmanwori, again, very intriguing. Also, I'm going to look at a little bit further down the board here Man, those guys are gone already. I was looking, typically it gives me a couple edge rushers, but the edge rushers are gone. And so it makes my pick a little bit easier, but we're gonna have to find edge rushers somewhere in this draft. Now, if you look at Stutzman and Jahad Campbell as in off-ball linebackers, I think that it's interesting. I can make an argument to take an off-ball linebacker here. But you got Josie Jewell, who's on a 3-year contract. You've got Trevin Wallace, who you just drafted. I don't know that that's that big of a need. I like Stutzman a lot. Okay. But I think in this instance, I got to go Nick Emmanwori. We need safety help. Woods on the last year, his contract. Although I don't think Emmanwori is more of a strong box type safety, bigger safety, 6'3", 227 pounds. He's a big guy. So I like you can find him somewhere. He can also kind of serve. He's more of like a Jeremy Chin type. When you look at his body type, the way he plays, it didn't work out for him in Evero, but maybe something clicks with Evero and him getting Emmanwori to work out. But I'm taking Nick Emmanwori there to help with that safety room for sure. Now we got back-to-back picks coming up in the 4th round here. Let's see what we got. I can argue taking another quarterback. Restrepo. Let's see here. I like Tez Johnson. I like Tez Johnson taking it. I'll take Tez Johnson with the quickness at one of these picks. Let's see. I might I think this Swinson kid might be something off the edge. 6'4", 250 pounds, primarily stand-up edge. I gotta go Swinson here. When you look at these other guys, tackle, maybe if these guys, and I'm not really familiar with their game like that, but if they can slide inside, pause, and go play center, because we do need a center long term. I think I like Ram a lot. Cade Mays, not sure he's playing very well right now. Not sure where he's going to stand moving forward because he's under a 1-year deal. So I'm going to go Swinson here, edge rusher, and keep this thing moving. Also, I'm going to go ahead and take Tez Johnson. I like Tez Johnson a lot. We need some wide receiver depth. He provides a little bit something that we don't have on the roster, a little bit shiftiness. I'm going Tez Johnson, just to keep that wide receiver depth building. You don't want to have gaps in that wide receiver room. You don't want to just rest on your laurels with the wide receiver room. You got an agent, Adam Thielen. You got to replace him at some point. Even though we do have Coker, even though we have Leggett, you still want to continue to build on that wide receiver room. So that's why I like Tez Johnson there a lot. Let's see where we are here. I can make an argument for taking a linebacker here. I think it was a bit high where we were. I can also make an argument for taking another quarterback. Not familiar with Zabel and his game, where he can play. Just did some I gotta do some research, but if I can recall, I think Zabel can play or has played center in the past. So I think I'm gonna roll with Zabel, who can play center. And I'm not sure. I gotta confirm that, but I think he can play center. So I'm rolling with that pick. Where are we now? Let's see. 5th round. How many picks we got left? I think we got 3 5th-round picks. Yeah. All right. So let's see where we are here. I'm gonna roll with Mondon Jr. Let's roll with Mondon Jr. here, linebacker. I like that pick. Again, depth linebacker play. Again, ignoring some of these trades here. A lot of I could definitely make argument for taking another cornerback and building that cornerback depth. And I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna take Domani Jackson here, cornerback from Alabama. Again, building that defensive depth. Uh, a lot of picks. This is what dope about what Dan Morgan is doing in that strategy of getting a lot of picks to acquire a lot of young talent, and you got to build off of this young talent. So I like this a lot. This is a really good strategy. If I wanted to package these picks up and move up earlier to identify more, and I'm going to do that one day. I need to get a little bit more familiar with our layout, our draft, get comfortable with it, see where we can and where we cannot, move amongst the draft and who to take, who's worth taking, what positions, because there's a lot of pick. I don't know that we're going to pick all of these picks. I think we're going to definitely move around. And so, yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen. Just looking here, uh, Eli Stowers. Let's roll with Stowers. You need again tight end depth here. Trimble is on a contract year. Ian Thomas, not sure whether he's going to be around long term. So let's continue to stack and build some of those the tight end depth. Let's see here. I'm going to roll with another edge in Anthony Lucas from another edge from I had to make sure. Edge from USC. Again, building that depth there. Got to have some depth at edge rusher. We got to continue to the more opportunities we have to build that edge rushing room, the defensive line, let's do it. We got to do it. Let's see here. Oh, I like Farmer. Defensive lineman. I'm gonna take Farmer. Not sure how he goes this late, man. He used to be problematic. But Farmer from Florida State, I'm taking that all day, every day. Now let's talk through some of this draft and how it looks. Will Johnson. I mean, if he falls to 8, I think you got to take him. Will Johnson is an elite cornerback talent, 6'2", really good size. Will pair up very, very well with J.C. Horn. I'm getting excited talking about it, to be honest with you. Derrick Harmon, defensive lineman, will slide in right there with Derrick Brown, Shy Tuttle, kind of an Ashawn Robinson replacement, and building that depth on the defensive line. We have to get better there. The game is won and lost in the trenches. Nick Emmanwori, I've taken him in a couple of drafts. I explained that. We need some safety depth. Edge rusher, Braydn Swinson, you already know we need help there. Tez Johnson, wide receiver depth. Gre Zabel is going to give you some swing ability, can play center, guard as well. Smael Mondon Jr., linebacker, getting some linebacker depth there. Obviously, we need some special teams help as well. Could potentially help with that. Domani Jackson, another cornerback. We again just building that depth, getting younger. Eli Stowers, tight end depth. Again, what you're hearing in this draft is depth, depth, depth. We have to build our depth. These guys have to end up working out, and this is how you build a roster. This is how you build and continue and ensure that your roster depth is well enough to compete into the later months of the football season. You have to have good depth, and that's what this draft continues to do. With that being said, what do you think about this draft? How would you grade it? Make sure you get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Get in the comments. Let me know what's good. I will see y'all on the next one. I'm out.
All the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast and we popping. Let's go.